Hello everyone, it's Coffee Stitcher. It is the last Sunday in October. Ordinarily, I would be doing a goals video this week, but seeing as how I literally have done none of the goals this month, we're gonna kind of maybe do a little restructuring, and see where we go from there. So, probably next week there'll be a goals video again, but who knows. This is also, coincidentally, my third FlossTube anniversary. I started making videos 3 years ago today. So I thought I would celebrate that a little bit by doing a whip parade at the end. Because I know some people don't like whip parades, that's why I'm holding it for the end. So if you want to stick around for it, please do. But if not, you do not at all have to feel obligated. So yeah. So how is everyone this week? Awesome, that's really good to hear. Okay, so, tiny bit of Forgotten Hall from last week that I am so sorry about. A little bit of Q&A, whip updates, and then we'll start the whip parade. So the first thing was the little bit of haul, and when we were in Austin, I found some Gilmore Girls pins. So Kate turned them into needle minders for me. So I've got one that says Dragonfly In. One that's the Luke Steiner No Cell Phones. One that says Life's Short Talk Fast. And then the Luke's logo. So we're going to throw those on my cart over here. There we go. Alright, so that was a little bit of haul. My Stitchy Box video would have happened this week, but through an accident, not really sure how it happened, my Stitchy Box went to the old apartment. So I caught that, went to the USPS website, tried to intercept it, and instead of when they took it back to the post office after they couldn't deliver it the first day, instead of going, oh, well, there's this, requesting that we mail it here, they just kept trying to send it to the old place and then send it back to Liz. So she got it Friday or Saturday, so it's going to be coming this week. So there will be a Stitchy Box video this week. Welcome to my world. So that'll be here. I will also have an order from 123 Stitch, but that'll be in the next video. Alright, so we'll dive into the Q&A. Beaker's aunt, or no, Beaker Sanute. Beaker Sanute. Beaker Sanet? I hope I said that right in one of those forms. Asks, when you place your floss on bobbins, do you use a floss winder? Well, technically I do. I use my hands. But no, I don't use... That just seemed fiddly to me and weird, so I just use my hands. Deb Wilson asks about the Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy pattern that I got in at the retreat. So, because I zoomed past it, which I do apologize for. It is a Lily Violette pattern, also known as Lily Violet. And there's sort of the actual image itself. And I haven't actually looked at the chart. It is definitely European in style because it's not symbols, it's just colors. So, quite literally, what you see there, put it on a grid, and that's the pattern. But it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 colors. So, yeah. And this is a hard copy. I know she does have a store on Etsy. She has a really nice Heidi and a really nice Anne of Green Gables. And I'm hopeful, she sort of implied that she would do a Wizard of Oz. Because, you know me, that's what I really care about. But she has some really beautiful charts. So, You can, I'm sure this one's probably available in PDF form. Put this back into its little baggie. I wouldn't care, but it has a sticker, so I feel like I need to try and keep them together as best I can. Alright, so there's that. Let's see. Sammy J. Stitches asks, have I considered reading the Dorothy Must Die series by Danielle Page? While I applaud her for writing them, and I think it's fantastic that she included characters from the other books in the series, and if it's getting kids to read, and if it gets them interested in Oz, and in the Baum books, then I applaud it. It was not my cup of tea. And that's about all I'm willing to say in a video about it. So, it was not my cup of tea. Faith Fan, thanks for the suggestion on Fox. I'm toying with maybe doing that for one of the owls. And soldier stitching, your Dobie with the floating pudding is brilliant. I'm totally going to use that. And thanks for the compliments on the nails. They did come off. I had to soak my fingers in acetone for like 30 minutes. I almost had to text my boss and go, am I going to be in trouble if I have to come to work with fake nails on? I actually didn't realize Tonks wasn't on the sampler, so I will see if I can figure out a place to put her. I think I am going to replace the second Snape down in the Death Eaters with Quirrell, because he was so pivotal to the first book. So I'm gonna be curious to see how that one ends up looking. So, yeah. And thanks to everyone who's liking the Harry Potter. You're going to see a little bit more of it. So, you'll see a little bit more of it. And there will be more work coming on it. I was just waiting on the 1, 2, 3 stitch order. And then I got actually kind of excited to work on something different. So that's what I did. But we'll get to that in a second. Kat Mulcahy, you're welcome. And I'm glad I got it right. It's, you can actually kind of thank MASH for that, because the chaplain for the 407 his last name was Mulcahy, so that's where I learned it. And I think that's all the Q&A. So let's go straight on to the whips. So at lunch, I've been working on Alice. So... and I think I'm going to work on her. I should finish her up this week. Because I got the bulk of her done. I've just got her feet, or her shoes, and her hair. And then she'll be done, and then I will probably rotate to something else at work. But we'll see. I may keep working on this one. But I'm really enjoying this one. So that's been my work project. The one I picked up to work on, first off, Frosted Pumpkin has a sale through tonight. Tonight's the last night of it. And it is it's 35% off the winter seasonals with the code Snowflake, all caps. And so I was looking at that, and that made me decide I really wanted to work on my story time again. So I'm working on my frame for Charlotte's Web. So, because I'm not that far, really, from finishing. So, that's what I worked on there. And then, of course, this week, I worked on Giant Harry Potter. Ta-da! So, here's where I'm at. I got most of the Quidditch section done. I needed a gold and a silver wool. So that's part of what's coming from 123 Stitch, because a friend was very gracious and sent me a surprise $25 gift card. So I just need the wool for the two for Oliver Wood and Marcus Flint. And then I got my words here. I've got the border ready to go over here. I'm still working on my changes. But I did go ahead and do the Devil's Snare instead of the gold. So I did green, and this is actually a soy thread made from soy. And then I made little blue flames for the flames. So then we've got the Wizard's Chest, which isn't going to have any changes to it. I guess really the biggest change is because of the fabric. I am using 3865. I think that's it. It's either 30. It's whatever the winter white is. I'll be using that, and then there's a change coming in here, but I definitely needed the 123 Stitch order for that. So when that order comes in, I will switch back over to it and finish out the Sorcerer's Stone section. And then I do think I'm going to legitimately take a break and get back to other things. So, but that's what I worked on this week. Yeah. So, that's kind of it for the main part of the video. So, for those of you who want to stick around for the whip parade, please do. I will not be showing the 3 I just showed again for obvious reasons. Stick around if you would rather not. Then I will see you all next week. Of course, as always, I welcome any and all Q&A because I like to answer things. So, anyhow, for the rest of you, I will see you all next week, and the others will start the whip parade after I take another sip of my coffee. Okay, so we'll start with the 2 that are in my cart over here. Which are Corner of the Earth, or Corner of the World, I think it's Corner of the Earth, by Tempting Tangles, and I've still only got it a quarter of the way done. So, there's that. Oop. And then I had pulled this out to start working on it, and then I ended up not. But the Soda Stitch Wizard of Oz, which I've got the center and 1 biscuit square done on. So, there's that. Okay, so there are those. Alright, and then I've got a whole tub over here too that I'll grab in a second. Sorry, when you work in a corner, you don't really have a whole lot of space. Okay, so these are ones that should look familiar to you because they're the ones that have been actively worked on. We've got the Ship's Manor Christmas Town Sal on Let It Snow by Ship's Manor. So that's where I'm at, and it's got my little Abominable Snowman needle minder. So that's where I got on it. I definitely need to come back to it because I really do love this piece. It's weird, having been a monogamous stitcher pretty much all month long, it's very weird to think about the things that I haven't touched. Which, don't get me wrong, I've been really enjoying working on Giant Harry Potter, but this is kind of making me miss my other things. So I have a feeling the gold rotation will come back. Let's see, so here's Longfellow's Round Tower by Tempting Tangles. This is on Garrett's Time Machine by Die Stitch Love with a Cookie Monster needle minder. So I've got the first 2 pages totally done, and I'm almost done with the 3rd page. I just have to do the border. So, and then after that, after that we're going to start getting into significantly easier sections. Because I just have to finish out, really, the bottom of the castle, but the castle was almost completed to begin with, so. We've got what I've been calling my my Lisa Frank. So it's on an Under the Sea Fabrics, Misty Morning, and it was a special dye. It was a gray, but I asked her to dye it a little lighter for me, because grays I sometimes have trouble with. And it ended up coming out this really cool purple color. So I'm using all color and cotton, and it's got my Michael Myers needle minder. Love Halloween. Okay. And then we've got Great Pumpkin Cheshire Moon. I think that's... Oh, no, excuse me, that's not what this is. This is Vintage Birds by Jeanette Douglas. So I've got a quarter of it done, and I'm working my way over here. So, and this is all in Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works, and I'm doing it on Ren by Picture This Plus with my Big Bird needle minder. So it's an entire, literally I managed to theme this entire thing around birds, which I think is kind of cool. And a little nerdy, but mostly kind of cool. Alright. This is Woodland Fairy by Mirabilia on Enchanted Forest by Under the Sea Fabrics with my Floss Tube Retreat needle minder. Ta-doo! So, and I will get back to her eventually. We've got Sizzlin' Summer Sal, which I have to frog part of because I miscounted on it. And I think 2 more parts have actually come out since I last worked on this one. So there's that. This is on a piece of Sandy Shores from Die Stitch Love with all Silk Mill silks. And it has a needle minder. This is from No Name Needle Minders. If I remember where they're from, I'll tell you. If I don't remember, I'm not. This one's definitely from No Name Needle Minders, and it's Dorothy and Toto on the Merry-Go-Round Mountains from my favorite Oz book, The Lost Princess of Oz. I want to say that is book 12 in the series? No, it's book 11. Let's see. It's book 11, because 12 is Tin Woodman, 13 is Magic, and 14 is Glinda. So... Okay, then we've got Greek Gods and Goddesses by Clouds Factory. This is on Heroic from Picture This Plus, with a mixture of things. A lot of it is actually Gloriana, using a Miss Piggy needle minder, because... You know, nothing is more goddess-like than the always wonderful Miss Piggy. So that's that. And then we've got the Lizzie Kate Spirit of Christmas sampler, which I think is actually going to need a rechart. It's on the called for fabric from Picture This Plus and with Weeks Dye Works. But I saw the second part, and I do not care for the saying at all. So I think it's going to be a recharted saying. Which, fortunately, I'm not all that far, so I can easily do it. So, but I am going to wait until the third part comes out so I can see what I need to do space-wise. But I think I'm going to replace it from what they have to Christmas means the spirit of giving, peace and joy to you, the goodness of loving, the gladness of sharing. These are Christmas too, if I can make that fit. And that's a lyric from Keep Christmas With You from Sesame Street, from the Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. I want to say Carol Hall of Best Little House in Texas actually wrote that. Alright, and then here is Great Cheshire Moon, which I need to go back to after having the Epic Frog session. This is on Ship's Manor something. I don't remember now. It was a gray. I think I still have... I don't know where the tag for it is. But it's a Ship's Manor, Lugana, with my Tim Burton Oz needleminder. So, and I'm doing mostly Ship's Manor's threads with some Gentle Arts to fill in where he didn't have a color swap. So those are the quote-unquote active whips. Now let's go on to the rest of them. We've got Pumpkin Passport, which I got stymied on because I discovered I had made an error in the Let's Go on an Adventure part. That will require frogging. And I just did not feel up to dealing with that. But we'll see. I may leave it. I have a feeling in the long run you're not going to be able to tell. But there's the top half, and this is largely the called for DMC on the called for fabric. It was actually the kit from the Frosted Pumpkin. I have added a few things in terms of like metallic that weren't in there to begin with, but by and large I've tried to use the colors that were already in there. So there it is, and it's using a needle minder from Delicious Threads. There's that. We've got Fairy Tale Sampler from Elizabeth's Needlework Designs. This is on, I want to say, Heroic, maybe? No, Helix. Crystal Helix from Picture This Plus. And it's my own color conversion using an Arial needle minder. So that's where I am on it. So this was a Mania start. We've got Blue Jeans and Daisies, which I'm really so close to a finish on. I really just need to finish it, but I'm still not quite over that one. But here's Blue Jeans and Daisies. I know it hasn't been seen in a while. But there it is. And it's with all the called for threads, actually. The big change there, well, I say it was the DMC version of all the called for. Alright, then we've got the Clouds Factory Postcards from the World, which I was actually looking at the other day, because I hadn't touched it in a long time. And actually, I do kind of like it, so I may eventually finish this, but there's that. It's on Winterbrook by Under the Sea Fabrics. And it was using a needle minder that I think had Grover on it. I think that's who I had, was Grover. But obviously not now. That just needs to be frog, because that's officially never going to be done. That's kitted. That's not actually... what I need that for. That's actually in the wrong box. That's also not a whip. That's just a kit. Also a kit. Badoot. We've got In the Fairy Tales book by Soda Stitch, which is one of my older whips. And I'm not quite halfway through it, but there it is. And it's on A Picture This Plus Ada, but I don't remember the color at this point. But there it is. So I really should just pull this back out and work on it some more, because it is super cute. I'd forgotten this one. Well, not forgotten, but I'd forgotten how cute it was. Not actually entirely sure where the chart is, though. I knew where it was before the move. Okay, and then we've got the classic Colorworks Cinderella, which is on April Showers by Hand Dyed from Stephanie, and I'm halfway done with it. So, and I did my own color conversions on it, because I didn't like the called for colors, by and large. So, I need to come back and finish you. Because really, I've just got the stepsisters, the little pot, just got that little bit left. So that would be a quick, easy finish. Don't really know why I stopped it either. Badoop. So there's that. We've got, ooh, what's this? The Leslie Tier Wizard of Oz. This is officially my oldest whip, y'all. And I'm halfway done with it, I think. Yeah, I've got basically the top half done. And I just have not gone back to it. So there's it. And I love it. I don't really know why I haven't gone back to it. I should. Okay. So there's that. We've got Paradise Lost from Plum Street. And this one, what I may just have to do is like I did with, oh, train of thought just slipped. I may just have to take this on one of my, kind of like I did with Harry Potter, I may just have to take this to a stitch-in and just plow through what I can. So, because it's this banner is what's killing me on it. So that's where I'm at on it. I don't remember the fabric. It is 35 count, but it's all the called for DMC and then it's the DMC versus the needlepoint, and then the 3 Glorianas that it called for. Alright, then we've got my Bossy Threads Haunted House that I started on my birthday, which I haven't touched since. So that's what I've got of it. So alright, then we've got, that's a kit. This, I think, is officially a UFO, because I have never wanted to go back to it. It's Wonderland the Game by Prairie Moon. And I have Alice done, and that's it. quite literally. So, we'll see. I may eventually go back to it, but given that I haven't had any interest in stitching it in a long time, it may be a UFO. Let's see. We've got Beautiful Sea, which has also become a UFO, unfortunately, because I really like it. It was by Ship's Manor. But here's where I'm at. So I got the first 2 parts done. Because I like it. I really do. I just haven't wanted to work on it since forever. But I do that with some things, so I could easily end up going back to it. Okay, we've got the Mystery Town, the Ship's Manor Sal, which I got upside down. I got the first building done, and I got most of the second building, and then I just kind of stopped. So I need to get all the parts still, and get those downloaded, because I really do enjoy this. It's my Stars Hollow, so boop. Let's see, then we've got the Sing a Sampler from Silver Creek, and this was a Mania start. I've got most of Fa done with my Maria von Trapp, and I've just never gone back to it. I will eventually, though, because I really do love this piece. I just haven't gotten around to getting back to it. Got 13 Colonies on Fog by Picture This Plus. This was a Little House Needleworks that I also started for last year's Mania and haven't gone back to. So that's where I'm at on it. So I think this year's Mania is going to not be new starts, but I think it's going to be a work on things that haven't been touched. That's definitely a UFO, that's definitely a UFO, 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 UFO. Oh, there's the chart for, okay. That's kind of everything then. So, oh, one last one. Oh, wait, no. And this one's definitely a UFO for now. And it's Beekeeper's Cottage from Elizabeth's Needleworks. So I got that far and then stopped. So, anyhow, that's my whip parade. So, there we have it. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed that. Thanks for being with me for 3 years. Here's to a whole lot more years. I will see you all next week.